Following up on the first tutorial on the method of U-substitution for integration, we now look at tutorial 2, in which we work through 3 more examples of U-substitution, but this time the functions we'll be dealing with are all rational functions like the one we see here. So let's get started and work through example 4, in which we have to find the integral, which I've called L, which is equal to the integral of 2x plus 2 over x squared plus 2x minus 3. And now, as we saw in the first tutorial, the method of U-substitution is a method for integrating a product of 2 functions. And so whenever we have to integrate a rational function like this one, I would strongly suggest starting by rewriting this as a product of 2 functions. In other words, I would rewrite this as the integral of 1 over x squared plus 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 2 in parentheses, with a dx at the end here. And now that that's done, we can clearly see that we're dealing with a product of 2 functions. Indeed, we have 1 over x squared plus 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 2. Okay, now that that's done, remember that to use the method of U-substitution, we need to identify which of these 2 functions is a composite function. And in this case, hopefully it's clear that the composite function is the 1 over x squared plus 2x minus 3 that I'm hovering around right now. Indeed, this is the composite of 1 over x and x squared plus 2x minus 3. And so this function's inner function is x squared plus 2x minus 3, and so I'll go ahead and call that u. In other words, here we can define our new variable as x squared plus 2x minus 3. And so I can write that underneath here. I'll say let u equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay, now that we've defined our new variable u, remember that our goal is to rewrite this entire integral in terms of that new variable. In other words, we need to rewrite this integral in such a way that no more x's can be seen and that the only variable we see is the new variable u. And to do that, remember we had seen that the trick was to compare the other function, that's the one that's not a composite function, to the derivative of u. In other words, to the derivative of the inner function of the composite function. So let's see, we know that u is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3. So du dx, its derivative, well, that would just be equal to 2x plus 2. And comparing this 2x plus 2 to the derivative du dx, well, put simply, they're equal. In other words, this 2x plus 2 can be rewritten as du dx. Okay, so looking at all of this, we can see that the composite function we have here can be rewritten as 1 over u. The 2x plus 2 we have here will just be du dx, and as we're about to see, the dx that multiplies it all at the end here, well, it's about to get cancelled out. Here's what I mean. This whole thing is equal to the integral of 1 over u times du dx times dx, where 1 over u is the composite function, and du dx is 2x plus 2. And now looking at what we have here, in particular du over dx times dx, we can see that these dx's will cancel each other out, and in fact I'll cross them out here, there we go, and we'll be left with the integral of 1 over u du. And at this stage we've successfully rewritten our integral in terms of u. Indeed, there are no more x's to be seen. And so all we have to do now is integrate this the usual way, treating u as our variable. And remember, the integral of 1 over x is a well-known result. Indeed, the integral of 1 over x is ln of the absolute value of x. So this becomes ln of the absolute value of u plus some constant of integration c. And now to write our final answer, all we have to do is replace the u that we have here by its expression that I'm boxing right now to state that this integral is equal to ln of the absolute value of x squared plus 2x minus 3. And of course we have our plus c at the end. And we're done. We've integrated 2x plus 2 over x squared plus 2x minus 3 using the method of U-substitution. Okay, let's look at the next example. Here in example 5 we need to find m, which is equal to the integral of 8x over the square root of 2x squared minus 1. Well, once more we're dealing with a rational function here, so one function being divided by another, and just as we did for the previous example, the first thing I would strongly encourage you to do here is to write this as a product. So that would be the product of 1 over the square root of 2x squared minus 1 times 8x. And of course we have our dx at the end. Okay, now that we've written that as a product of two functions, hopefully it's clear that one of these two functions is a composite function. Indeed, 1 over the square root of 2x squared minus 1 is a composite function. So let's define a new variable u using this composite function's inner function. And the inner function to take here is 2x squared minus 1. So I'll go ahead and call that u. And I'll write that underneath again, so I'll say let u equal to 2x squared minus 1. And if you're wondering why I didn't let u equal to the square root of 2x squared minus 1, well, it's because of the next step that follows. And here it is. Remember, the next step is to compare the other function, so the 8x that we have here, to the derivative of u. And so by choosing u as 2x squared minus 1, its derivative is quite easy to find. Indeed, du dx will just be equal to 4x, which makes comparing this 8x to this derivative much, much easier. Which is how I knew I should choose 2x squared minus 1 as the new variable u instead of the square root of 2x squared minus 1. That being said, I carry on. Comparing the 8x we have here to the derivative du dx, which equals to 4x, we quickly see that 8x is equal to 2 times this derivative. In other words, 8x is 2 du dx. And now that that's done, we can see right away that we can quite easily rewrite this entire integral in terms of the new variable u. Indeed, this is equal to the integral of 1 over the square root of 2x squared minus 1, so that becomes 1 over the square root of u, and I'll quickly write that, that's 1 over the square root of u, times 8x, which we've just seen is 2 du dx. So that becomes times 2 du dx, and of course we have times dx at the end here. Now on the far end here we can see that we have du over dx times dx, so those dx's cancel each other out, and we're left with 1 over the square root of u times 2 du, which we can write as the integral of 2 over the square root of u, and that's du at the end. And at this stage we can see quite clearly that we've successfully rewritten our integral in terms of the new variable u. And so we integrate this with respect to u. And for that I'll make use of the fact that 1 over the square root of u is u to the power of negative 1/2, so this is equal to 2 times u to the power of negative 1/2 du. Now, using the power rule for integration, that turns into 2 times 1 over negative 1/2 plus 1 times u to the power of negative 1/2 plus 1 plus some constant c. And so that becomes 2 times 1 over negative 1/2 plus 1, so that's 1/2. So we have 1 over 1/2 times u to the power of negative 1/2 plus 1, which is also 1/2. And we still have our plus c. I carry on, we have 2 times 1 divided by 1/2. Well, since 1 divided by 1/2 is 2, this becomes 2 times 2, which is 4. So that's equal to 4 times u to the power of 1/2, so that's 4 times the square root of u. And again, we have plus c at the end here. And carrying on over here for the final answer, replacing the u that we have under the square root by 2x squared minus 1, we can state the final answer as the integral m is equal to 4 times the square root of 2x squared minus 1 plus a constant of integration c. And that's the answer. We've now integrated 8x over the square root of 2x squared minus 1 using the method of substitution. I carry on and look at the third and final example of this tutorial. And here it is. We need to find the integral n, which is equal to the integral of cosine of x over sine of x. And some of you may be aware that cosine of x over sine of x is equal to cotan of x. So as such, what we're seeing here is how to find the integral of cotangent of x. Okay, well just as for the previous examples, what we see here is a rational function. That is, one function being divided by another. And so as always when that's the case, I would recommend starting by rewriting that as a product of two functions. That is, I will rewrite that as the integral of 1 over sine of x times cosine of x. Okay, now that we've done that, we can clearly see that we're trying to integrate a product of two functions. And one of those two functions is a composite function. Indeed, 1 over sine of x is the composite of 1 over x and sine of x. So the inner function that we're going to use here to define our new variable is sine of x. And so I'll call that u, and I'll write it underneath again. I'll say let u equal to sine of x. That's our new variable. Next, and as always, we compare the other function, the one that's not a composite function, to the derivative of the new variable u. So since u is equal to sine of x, its derivative du dx, well, that will equal to cosine of x. And so clearly, comparing cosine of x to this derivative, we immediately see that they're equal. In other words, we can replace the cosine of x we have here by du dx. And now that we've done that, we can immediately see that we can rewrite our integral in terms of the new variable u. Indeed, this composite function would just be 1 over u. The cosine of x we have here will be du dx, whose dx will cancel out with the dx we have at the end of our integral here. So let's write that out. This becomes the integral of 1 over u, so that's 1 over u, times du dx times dx. And just as we said, the dx's at the end here will cancel each other out, so I can go ahead and cross those out, and we can see that our integral is equal to the integral of 1 over u with du at the end here. And looking at the line we have here, it's perfectly clear that we've rewritten the integral we initially started off with in terms of the new variable u. And so all that's left to do is integrate this with respect to u. In other words, integrate this treating u as the variable. And so in the same way that the integral of 1 over x is ln of the absolute value of x, the integral of 1 over u with respect to u is just equal to ln of the absolute value of u plus some constant of integration c. We're nearly there. All that's left to do is replace the u that we have here by sine of x, as we can see in the expression I'm boxing right now. And so we can state our final answer as ln of the absolute value of sine of x plus some constant of integration c. And that's the answer. And there we go. That's it for this tutorial on the method of U-substitution for integration for rational functions.